All right, let's dive into tequila,
Oh, yeah.
specifically Don Julio.
Okay.
We're going behind the
I'm
scenes,
behind the scenes.
thanks to this great YouTube video,
Cool.
taking us all on a virtual trip to the highlands of Jalisco, Mexico,
Nice.
where that blue agave plant thrives.
I love agave.
You know, those fields bathed in sunlight,
Yes.
volcanic soil,
Yeah.
the humidors handling those massive plants that can weigh over 100 kilos.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How big they get.
It's pretty incredible.
I know.
And this video really shows Don Julio's dedication
Yeah.
to both tradition and quality in every step of their process.
It really is impressive.
It's like an all-access pass to
Yeah.
their distillery.
Yeah.
We'll see the importance of the piña
The heart of the agave, the most
Yeah.
important part.
and how a 79-hour steam bath transforms that plant starch into sugar.
I know. It's kind of crazy to think about.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And we'll even learn about Don Julio's secret yeast.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
It's a secret. Yeah. Plus, we'll get a glimpse of those massive cellars where 9,000 oak barrels hold that aging tequila.
That's pretty cool.
It's a fascinating journey.
Uh-huh.
From agave fields all the way to the bottling line.
A whole thing.
So get ready to discover the dedication and artistry poured into each bottle of Don Julio.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really special tequila for sure.
Okay, let's kick things off with the agave's journey.
Okay.
So the blue agave, it thrives in a very specific environment. Highlands of Jalisco.
Yeah.
Altitudes over 1,500 meters.
High up.
Well-drained volcanic soil.
They love that.
And get this, they rely entirely on rainfall for irrigation.
Completely natural.
Talk about natural process.
That's terroir.
right.
The unique combination of environmental factors
Yeah,
that give Don Julio tequila its distinct character.
it's like wine.
It is like wine.
From
I can-
different regions.
Uh-huh.
Different flavor profiles.
Exactly.
All right, let me introduce you to the Jimador.
The Jimador.
Skilled workers
Yeah.
who are so essential to this whole process.
Couldn't do it without them.
These folks, they have been planting and harvesting agave for generations.
Yeah, it's a generational thing.
Passing down their knowledge.
Uh-huh.
And they use a special tool
Yeah.
called a kodakima.
Now, what's interesting about the
Yeah.
is it's sharp.
Yeah.
Almost like a shovel, right?
Oh, okay.
It allows them to cut through the agave's tough, spiky leaves
Right to the piña at the base.
to get to that heart. Yeah.
Blend of strength and precision,
Amazing.
honed over centuries.
Centuries.
And those piñas,
Yeah.
huge.
They're big.
They can weigh over 100 kilos.
That's bigger than a person,
Oh, yeah.
like a small person.
I mean, can you believe one large piña can yield up to 12 bottles of tequila?
That's a lot of margaritas.
That's a lot of cocktails.
It's amazing.
But harvesting those piñas, no walk in the park.
I know.
They still use mules
Oh, yeah.
to transport them from those steep, rugged fields.
It's really old school.
Adds to the charm, don't you think?
It does.
Like taking a step back in time,
Uh-huh.
those mules carrying those heavy loads through the agave field.
It's beautiful, really.
It is.
Picturesque.
And those piñas, they make their way to the Don Julio distillery in Atotonilco, ready for their transformation.
Right.
They receive a whopping 20 tons of piñas daily.
Wow.
That's enough for 5,600 bottles of tequila.
That's a lot of tequila.
Yeah, I know.
Every day.
It's pretty remarkable that even on this large scale, they maintain incredibly tight quality control.
Yeah. How do they do it?
Each piña, it's actually marked with data
Really?
from the field where it was grown.
Wow.
So every single bottle of Don Julio can be traced back to its origin.
That's impressive.
And speaking of detail, let's break down how those massive piñas get turned into tequila.
Okay.
First, they're chopped into smaller pieces,
Makes sense.
and the top part
Mm-hmm.
is removed
Okay.
to avoid any bitterness in the final product.
So they're just using the best part of the piña.
That step is crucial.
Yeah.
Ensures that only the sweetest,
Uh-huh.
most flavorful part of that piña is used,
Yeah.
guaranteeing that delicious tequila we all enjoy.
Very important.
Next comes the incredible part.
Okay.
79-hour steam bath.
I know. It's so long.
Those chopped piñas cooked in enormous brick ovens
Wow.
for 3 whole days.
I could never.
It's longer than I spend cooking anything.
Me neither.
But there's a scientific reason
There is.
behind this precise duration.
Okay.
The steam bath converts that starch in the piñas into fermentable sugars.
Uh-huh.
So it's that natural alchemy
Yeah.
that sets the stage for that tequila's signature flavors.
It all starts there.
And the transformation is pretty amazing.
What happens?
They go from being hard
Yeah.
and white
Uh-huh.
to soft,
Okay.
reddish brown.
Oh, sticky.
Sounds delicious.
Ready to release all that sweet nectar.
I know, I'm ready for that part.
Okay, so now it's time to get to the juicy part.
The juicy part, literally.
Literally, yeah.
To
Oh,
extract the agave nectar, they use rotating grinders to crush those cooked piñas.
Okay.
Now, Don Julio
yeah.
makes sure to extract every bit of that sweet goodness.
I would hope so.
Even the crushed fibers are washed thoroughly to capture every drop of that sugar.
Wow.
So they're really utilizing that entire agave plant,
I like that. Sustainable.
minimizing waste and maximizing flavor.
That's how you do it.
Now, here's where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me.
Don Julio also uses a tahona.
A tahona, what's that?
It's an ancient stone wheel
Oh, cool.
to crush the fibers and release even more agave nectar.
They're really going all out.
And you know how some tequilas
Yeah.
have that earthy, almost mineral flavor?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That comes from using the tahona,
Really?
a method that dates back to the Spanish conquistadors.
That's amazing.
So they've incorporated this traditional technique into their modern process.
Yeah.
It adds a historical richness and a unique layer of complexity to the final product.
I love
I love that too.
It's cool.
All right, so now we've got this beautiful honey water, as they call it.
It's honey one.
It's that sweet agave juice,
Okay.
ready to flow into the fermentation tanks.
All right, let's go.
And this is where those tiny but mighty microorganisms we call yeast come into play.
The stars of the show.
They're the ones responsible for converting all that sugar into alcohol
Right.
and carbon dioxide, essentially bringing the tequila to life.
The magic of fermentation.
And Don Julio takes it up a notch
Oh, yeah.
by using their own secret variety of yeast.
Oh, top secret.
They're not spilling all the beans.
I know some things are better left unsaid.
But it's clear that special yeast plays a crucial role in developing that unique flavor profile.
Yeah, the secret ingredient.
It's like a chef's secret ingredient, right?
Exactly.
Adding a layer of complexity and nuance that sets Don Julio apart from the rest.
I like it.
Now, the fermentation process takes a full 72 hours.
That's a while.
And during that time, you can imagine the incredible aromas filling the air.
I bet it smells amazing.
They even mentioned that the fermented pulp and juice have a distinct acidic taste.
Interesting.
So that acidity is a natural byproduct of the fermentation process, right?
Exactly.
It adds another dimension to that flavor, contributes to that tequila's overall complexity, giving it that signature bite.
Okay, so we've got this tequila. It's fermented. It's got that characteristic aroma, but it's still not the finished product.
Right.
It needs to go through distillation.
But we'll save that part of the journey for later.
Okay.
Stay tuned because things are about to get even more interesting as we delve into the science and artistry of distilling tequila.
I can't wait. Okay, so are you ready to continue our journey into the heart of tequila production?
I am.
All right, so we left off with the tequila fully fermented,
Yes.
the distinct aroma.
Right.
Now it's time to delve into the fascinating world of distillation.
Distillation.
Yes.
This is where things get technical,
It does get technical.
where science meets artistry.
It does.
Yeah.
So imagine this. Okay.
They transfer that fermented liquid, now called mosto,
Mosto.
into these large copper stills.
Copper stills. What's so special about copper?
Well, copper,
Yeah.
it helps remove unwanted compounds during the distillation process,
Okay.
so it results in a smoother, cleaner tequila.
So it's kind of like filtering the tequila through a natural purifier.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does the actual distillation work?
Well, they carefully heat the mosto in the stills,
Okay.
and as the alcohol has a lower boiling point than water,
Okay.
it vaporizes first,
Okay.
and then this alcohol-rich vapor rises and is cooled and condensed back into a liquid.
Wow.
And what you get is a concentrated tequila with a much higher alcohol content.
So it's like separating the good stuff from the rest.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this whole process is actually carried out in 2 stages.
Okay.
It's double distillation
Double distillation.
to further refine that tequila,
Oh.
to give it that smoothness and complexity that Don Julio is known for.
That sounds pretty intense. It requires precise temperature control and careful monitoring.
Yeah.
And this is where the expertise of the master distiller comes in.
Okay, the master distiller.
Think of them as the conductor of an orchestra,
Okay.
making sure that every element of that distillation process is in perfect harmony.
They have a big responsibility, though.
A big responsibility.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The master distiller
Yeah.
uses their senses,
Okay.
their sight, smell, and taste to judge the quality of the tequila at each stage.
Wow.
So they can detect subtle nuances
Okay.
and make adjustments to ensure that final product meets Don Julio's exacting standards.
So they're like the guardians of flavor?
Exactly.
And I bet their job is incredibly challenging,
Incredibly.
especially dealing with such a high-proof spirit straight out of the stills.
Well, you're right. The
Okay.
tequila at this stage can have an alcohol content of over 100 proof.
Wow, that's...
Way too strong to drink straight.
Oh, yeah.
So to make it enjoyable,
Right.
they add purified water to bring that alcohol content down to the familiar 40%,
Okay.
which is standard for most tequilas.
So it's not just like a simple dilution process.
It is not.
Right.
It's a delicate dance.
Okay.
It's a crucial step
Right.
that the master distiller oversees with meticulous care.
Wow.
They need to achieve the right balance of flavors and aromas,
Yeah.
making sure that dilution doesn't compromise the complexity and character developed during fermentation and distillation.
Okay.
So it's like fine-tuning a musical instrument
Yeah.
to achieve perfect pitch.
Now, I understand why the master distiller plays such a crucial role.
A crucial role.
So at this point,
Yeah.
we have tequila that's been fermented, meticulously distilled, and brought down to the right alcohol content.
We do.
Is it finally ready for bottling?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Remember those 9,000 American white oak barrels we talked about earlier?
Yes.
This is where the tequila embarks on a new chapter of its journey, the aging process.
Ah, aging.
Yeah.
That's where the tequila gets its beautiful color.
It does.
Develops those complex flavors, right?
These
Like
guys-
a fine wine maturing in a cellar.
Exactly.
So Don Julio has this massive warehouse
They do.
dedicated to aging their tequila.
Uh-huh.
And get this,
What?
they go to great lengths to control the temperature
Mm-hmm.
and humidity
Yeah.
inside this warehouse.
Really?
Why is controlling the humidity so important?
Well, it's all about preserving those precious drops of tequila.
Okay.
You see, as the tequila ages,
Yeah.
a small portion of it evaporates through the wood of the barrels.
Interesting.
It's called the angel share.
The angel share.
But if that humidity is too low,
Right.
the barrels can dry out excessively, leading to a loss of tequila and potentially affecting the flavor.
So the humidifiers act like guardians,
Exactly.
ensuring that the tequila ages gracefully
Gracefully.
and retains its optimal quality.
Precisely. It's yet another testament to Don Julio's commitment to producing the highest quality tequila.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. Some of their tequilas age for up to 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
What kind of transformation takes place during that time?
Well, imagine the tequila slowly absorbing the essence of those oak barrels.
Okay.
Over those years,
Okay.
it develops a beautiful amber hue.
Right.
It takes on notes of vanilla, caramel, spice, and a subtle hint of toasted wood.
Mm-hmm.
The longer it ages, the smoother and more complex it becomes.
Like the tequila's on this slow,